So this research that I'm trying to put together, right? It's really different kind of research. It's qualitative research. And so it's not the kind of research where you have an idea already in your head of what's going on and then you go find the research to support it. Okay? It's like the opposite of that. So I'm trying to talk to teacher candidates who have finished step 3, right? So you're done with all of your coursework at UNC, but you have not started student teaching yet. Okay? And my goal is to find out about your your beliefs around classroom management strategies. And to understand where you get those, where you've accumulated those beliefs from prior to practicing in the classroom, kind of, for student teaching. So it's not like I have certain ideas in my head, oh, I hope she says this or that. It's not like that. It's really just more kind of exploratory, I suppose is a good word.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so the first question I have is very simply, how would you define classroom management?
How would I define it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that is just how under control and how engaged your students are in the lessons that you're giving that day. So just how well you manage distractions, students being off task, things like that, just to make the general flow of the classroom productive. So I think that's how I would define it.
Okay, great. And where would you say that you mostly got those kinds of ideas and those kinds of the specific things you put in there, so manage distractions and students being off task, stuff like that? Where would you say that you got most of those ideas?
A lot of it probably from my host teacher last semester. Just because we had a lot of good conversations about just how she manages the classroom from day one, building just those expectations of students so that they know what the rest of the semester is going to be how they should behave in class. And then also, I would say the specialty seminars a little bit, ones with Amway skills, and so she was pretty good. I liked hers a lot.
Oh, okay.
So I think those mostly.
So talk more about, so you said your host teacher last semester, right? You had a lot of good conversations about expectations, what to expect in the classroom. Was there anything more specific that came out of those particular conversations?
I think mostly just how she sets up her class from day one. So, because we talked about the very first day of class and how she goes about that. And she has a pretty, I would say, mature conversation with the students. And even though they were 8th graders, sat them down and, discuss with them what they thought a well-running classroom looked like.
Oh.
And then, so once the students said, how they thought, a classroom should go, which a lot of them knew what the expectations that she was hoping for, they would say. And since they presented them and put them on the table, then she could later on go back and say, well, I know you know how to behave in a classroom because you said it on day one. This is how you know you're supposed to behave.
Yeah.
And then went on from that. So I really liked that she did that and treated students as more adults, even though they're middle school. They're still pretty young, but they should, by that point in time, know how to behave and how a classroom should run.
Yeah.
To be successful. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. And then what about the stuff you mentioned? Ann Lacefield's seminar. Do you remember anything in particular about that, or?
I'm sure I could. I'm just blanking right now.
and that's okay. You can, if nothing in particular jumps into mind, that's no problem.
Yeah, no, I'm sure I've done stuff that she said before. I remember specifically that it there's things that I've taken away. I just can't remember specifically what they are because I
Okay.
adapted them into how I teach now. So.
Sure, no problem. That's fine. That's fine. So my next question is, whoops, hold on, wrong document there. So my next question is about the importance of it. How important do you perceive?
I'm going to have 45-minute class periods.
Ooh.
Being able to get students like on task right away, like having them know what I'm expecting from them and them knowing the expectations for what the class is going to look like that day and just all the procedures and how they're going to be run throughout the day is going to be key to actually them learning anything in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Because with such short class periods, it could be really easy for them to just get off task and for them not to really take anything away from the class period. So
Yeah.
I think it's very important.
Yeah. Holy cow, 45 minutes. Well, I used to do the 48-minute classes, so I hear ya. So again, kind of like my follow-up question to that is, where did this sense of importance come from? You're saying it's very important. I've only got 45 minutes. You talked about procedures being key to learning anything. Where did you get kind of that sense of importance or urgency?
I would say probably from the discussions that I've had in classes, I can't pinpoint exact ones, but then also for the past 2 semesters I've been in middle school for my observations, and one was at Franklin Middle School and then last semester was at John Evans, and the host teachers that I were with were really different, but I thought that the students learned a lot more. In the class that I was in last semester versus the one 2 semesters ago, because there were more procedures set in place and like they got going with like EGP right away. So there was no wasted time at the beginning of class, and I think they got a lot more out of it than the other students did. So, and then also experience teaching on my own too, or even with the 5 lessons that I taught last semester. If there were some where the students weren't really expecting what I was doing, or if they were getting me off task, then I didn't get in as much that I wanted to teach them in that day. So that's
Interesting.
probably where I'm getting those from.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Okay. And so my last question is about confidence. How confident do you feel in your ability to implement whatever classroom management techniques you feel like you need to use?
I'm honestly not sure yet, because being in the classrooms that I've been in, the teachers already have those in place. And so I didn't really have to implement them myself. And even when I did teach, like the kids already knew like what behavior was expected of them. And most of the time my host teacher was in the classroom like during that time, so they wanted to behave for her too. So
I see. Yeah.
So I'm not really sure because I haven't tried them out on my own. I think I'm confident enough to want to try things, and I think that I'm pretty good at building relationships with students, so, and being reflective. So if something's not working, then hopefully I'll be able to figure out what it is, what I'm doing wrong, and try and fix it for the next day. But I'm not exactly sure if I can answer that question just yet.
Right, no, and that's totally fair. Could you, when you said like I feel really confident enough to like build relationships, and what was that other thing you said?
Just reflect on my own
yes. Oh, good, yeah. Okay. Excellent. Is there anything else about classroom management that you that you think is important that we didn't touch on, that's sort of part of who you are, part of where you learned from?
I think it would be the building relationships part. So not just establishing their expectations, but also getting to know students and like what their learning styles are and like how they best learn and just keeping their interest. I think all of those are super important. Just to making them want to participate in class and making them feel comfortable and so yeah, that's another thing that they feel safe in the classroom too. So setting up a safe classroom environment, not just the procedures, but also making them feel like it's an okay place to learn, and they don't have to worry about those outside distractions. At least in my classroom.
Yeah. And you know, since you brought up, you know, like the relationships and learning styles and interests and stuff like that, is there a particular place where you got those ideas, or you know, those ideas came through for you?
I would say mostly during tutoring for Abbott. The semester that I've done that. Because the first semester that I did it, I didn't see the kids very often, and so I didn't get to build those relationships with them, and I was with different kids every week. So it was harder, like, getting them to respect me if I'm just coming in 1 week and then leaving the next week, and then because they would mix around a group of students. But this past semester, I had pretty much the same group of students the whole time, and there were a couple times where, I mean, I'd have kids that were off task or not wanting to listen or something, but if I had like a serious conversation with them, like, hey, we really need to do this, they respected me enough that they would like get back on task because like we had that relationship and I knew things about them and like I knew what their struggles were and where they were strong and just worked with the group that way. So I think from Abbott probably.
Yeah. Wow, it sounds like a great experience then.
Yeah, no, I loved it so much. The kids actually, because a lot of them thought I was going back to John Evans, like, begged me to come to teach for them because I would be with them again this week.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, no, it was so cute, though. I missed them a lot.
Yeah.
It was great. And I learned a lot, too, especially about just working with students one-on-one and how that looks different than being in front of the classroom and getting to know, like, what point students are getting confused about different assignments, like getting down to, like, the core of their problem and then working up from there to help them, like, work through that themselves. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
Nice. Okay, is there anything else that you think you would add about, you know, about classroom management and where you got ideas from?
I don't know. I think that's it, though, that I can think of right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah. Cool. Well, my goal is to take all the conversations I've been having, like with different teacher candidates, and sort of like look for common themes and look for like, you know, common phrases or words or anything like that, or see if there aren't any commonalities, you know. And then I have to present my research at the end of the summer, sort of, I think around like August or so. And so if you'd like, you know, I would send it along to you so you can see the document that I produce.
Yeah, sure.
And when I was talking to a different teacher candidate, she had mentioned, and I hadn't even thought about this, I thought that is so cool, having a conversation after you student taught, you know, because like this is a record of what your thoughts are about classroom management before you student teach. What's it going to be like when, oh my gosh, a whole semester of you being in charge, you know? And so I think if it's okay with you, you know, to keep that door open, that maybe we can talk after you student teach, like with the exact same questions and just go, how do you feel about it now? Where did you learn that from? And see if there's any commonalities or not, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I thought that would be interesting. Just if for nothing else, just interesting, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I would like that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, that's all I needed. So,